video today. We're taking a look at the Week 4 matchup out in the Pac-12. Stanford hosting Oregon. We'll break it down for you in just a second. Joe Duffy back with me live. Make sure you check out all the videos on the YouTube channel. Joe Duffy does 2 every week. Let's get into it, Joe. Stanford hosting Oregon. Stanford is a 10.5-point home underdog. How about that? You don't see that very often, nor would you think you'd see it. Total in this game is
59.
Why didn't I have that? There you go, 59.5. My apologies. I hope everyone's having a great day. Thanks, as always, for watching. Joe, let's get into it. Stanford, it's been a tough season so far for the Cardinal. They've been very injury-ravaged. If you look down this roster, I mean, Costello, the quarterback, he's been out for a period of time. He came back last week and played admirably on the road, but he wasn't great. He wasn't efficient. Under 50% completion percentage. And look, Joe, that happens. Sometimes you just have a bad game, but against UCF, I mean, look, UCF's a good team, but defensively, you shouldn't have trouble 50% completion. Again, if you can't get to 50% completion in college football, you have some sort of issue. Something's going on. Maybe he's still not healthy. They don't have that bell cow running back. We've kind of talked about that in other videos. And you look at coming in here, this is a defense that continues to have major trouble, Joe. They're giving up a lot of passing yards. You look at per game, giving up over 280. It's just not good enough. The secondary has not been solid. They're not getting much of a pass rush, and that's one of the big issues as well for Stanford. We remember years past, they've had great pass rushers, Solomon Thomas and guys like that can get to the quarterback, but they just don't have that this year. This is a team that's struggling. They're just another Pac-12 football team. Oregon coming in, really kind of righted the ship after that last-second loss to Auburn, put up 77 on Nevada, which, I mean, Joe, you and I both know Nevada's not a bad team. They're not Montana State or Southern Utah. Nevada's a pretty comparable, competent football team. They let their aggression out that night, come back with a big win last week in a 35-3 blowout of the Montana Grizzlies. Herbert, obviously one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but it is a road game, and this is a Stanford team. This is an Oregon team that has struggled on the road, failing to cover in 7 of 10. Joe, what do you like here?
Yeah, well, Jeff, a couple of my very common themes here. Again, college football, big momentum sport, and I do have a nice momentum angle that says teams off of consecutive routes are very good plays, 124 and 56. And although most of my momentum angles are usually better at home, this one's rare. When it talks about momentum built over the last 2 games, even better on the road, it's 73, 32, and 1. And I talked about it with you a couple weeks ago, whichever game we previewed, that my research has shown that tune-up games are great as long as you take care of business in your tune-up game, and certainly Oregon did that last week against Montana. The Cards, remember I went against Stanford last week, and we both went against Stanford. And college football, as I've said, or college sports really, much more of a situational from a handicapping standpoint than professional sports are. So remember, they lost to their the big rivals, USC, a couple weeks ago. Then they traveled over 2,200 miles, went to the heat of Florida, lost that one. And as you said, because of injuries, especially on their offensive line, Walker Little, big loss on the offensive line. They're banged up there. Stanford actually entered the season with fairly high hopes. They've had the rug pulled out from under them. A little bit of a tough 3-game stretch, so I think, that's really against them. As you said, Costello is back. Maybe, with the game under his belt, he can be a little bit more sharp. Also, revenge. You hear a lot of handicappers talk about revenge. Favorites of 7.5 or more in triple revenge. Oregon trying to break a 3-game losing streak in the series are actually 224, 180, and 8, including even better at 57.3% on the road. And in fact, away favorites of 6.5 or more in triple revenge. A very impressive 61, 36, and 3. So a lot of good systems. Plus, like I said, Stanford, it's a little bit of a tough stretch, and they've been a big disappointment this year. I think they had high hopes entering the year of being a dark horse. Well, those dreams came shattering. So you can kind of see it's just really a tough spot. And as you said, Herbert has a chance to maybe get himself back in the Heisman race, maybe with a nice effort on the road. So I do expect a blowout in favor of Oregon here.
Yeah, you also look at the Stanford team. You look at over the last 2 games, they've given up 90 points combined. Yeah. And what makes it even more worrisome if you're a Stanford fan, it was against 2 backup quarterbacks. Yeah. This is not, Sam Darnold and Mackenzie Milton or quarterbacks of these teams from the past. I mean, you basically had Dylan Gabriel and Slovis throw all over you. That is not something that obviously you feel real comfortable about. And I'm going to tell you right now, this Oregon defense, we remember under Chip Kelly at times, Joe, years ago, even 2 or 3 years ago with this Oregon team, didn't defend. They were a bad defensive team. You look at recently under Jim Leavitt, who has come in from Colorado, he did a nice job to fix this defense. Now they go out and get Andy Avalos from Boise State, who always had very good units up there. So this is a defense that I continue to expect to make strides. I don't love the Stanford offense. I don't think they're going to be much up to the task against this defense. The only thing that concerns me, obviously, is the road angle, but you obviously mentioned it, triple revenge for Oregon. You have to figure for them, they're going to want to take out some frustration. It's been a frustration angle, really, for Oregon after that Auburn loss. It's a shame they lost that game because, I think if Oregon was able to win, they're a team that I think you start talking a little bit about is, can this team maybe make a bit of a run and be kind of that maybe a Pac-12 savior? We know this conference has struggled over the last couple of years to get respect. Joe Duffy, great stuff, great play. I agree with you here. Oregon, the play against Stanford. Joe likes going against Stanford 2 weeks in a row. He's going to do it, and I don't think he's wrong in doing so. This group has issues. As always, thanks for watching. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm putting out great sports betting content, football videos, all sorts of different things. And soon, college basketball will be upon us. Those college basketball previews will start to come out as well. Joe, great videos this week. We'll look forward to talking to you in week 5. Why don't you give us one more plug for offshoreinsiders.com?
Yeah. And thank you, Jeff. And for your new viewers, you guys are going to be amazed with Jeff in college basketball. It's ridiculous, his knowledge, especially of the smaller colleges. But as far as my stuff, Joe Duffy speaks at offshoreinsiders.com. Already on the website right now, a bunch of stuff up Thursday through Monday, big plays each and every day. How long have I been in this business? Since 1988, full-time, 32 years, I guess it is. Visit me at offshoreinsiders.com.
Make sure you go visit Joe Duffy, offshoreinsiders.com. Someone asked for an impression. I'll have to do that longer sometime. But, Joe, great stuff. We'll talk to you in week 5. Thanks for joining me.
All right, thanks, Jeff.